Okay, hello everybody and welcome back to Spirit of the Board and the next video in my Who Is series. And as always, you're joining me today to learn more about the theme behind the Spirit of the Day. And in so doing, we learn more about each spirit in turn, we improve our playstyles and enjoyment of the game, and ultimately, we become better spirits. Well, guys, pleasure to be back, but it is sort of becoming a bit of a meme at this moment, isn't it? With me saying, oh, it's been an age since I've done my last video. Look, all I can say is, I'm sorry. It's just been so hard to get these videos out. I've got a lot on the cutting room floor, so hopefully, like, the next few videos will be much faster in their appearance to you. Fingers crossed, and I really, really hope to deliver. Today, we are talking about one of the most malleable, one of the most adaptable spirits in the game. It's a spirit I like to play with new players for certain and help them pilot it as well. But it's also a spirit that has its place when you play with people who've played multiple times before. That is, of course, River Surges in Sunlight. So the question is, who is River Surges in Sunlight? The summary would be, number 1, control specialist. Number 2, he likes Dahan. If you like Dahan, take this spirit. Also, if you're playing in a multi-spirit game and you're playing with spirits that use Dahan, this guy is going to absolutely support them and be amazing for them. And the third and final point is a little bit more loaded. I say he has special interests or adaptability, okay? Massive adaptability. Now, what do I mean by this? Let's think about the shows, the medical shows that you love out there, the best medical dramas. Mine, for example, is House MD. You know those doctors in that show, the ones that we follow, they've got their special interests and they do their medic stuff, right? But if there is like lab work to be done or bloods to be spun, don't worry. You don't ask a lab technician, they can do that as well. If there's surgery to be done, don't you worry. Don't need to find one anywhere. They can do the most complex cardiothoracic surgery or neurosurgery that exists. If you need to do a procedure, anesthetic procedure, don't worry about it. Don't find one. They can do that too. It makes no sense in real life, but it's great drama and TV. I honestly feel River Surges in Sunlight could be an extra on that show. He could just stroll in and be like, yeah, don't worry, I can save that patient, I can go into surgery, and I'll spin the bloods in a moment. Like, in the locker room of Spirit Island, where you've got all the specialist spirits, those of offense, support, utility, they're looking at River saying, dude, you are a control specialist. How is it that you can do all the things we can do and just as well? That's not fair, man. And he's like, what can I say, guys? What can I say? Listen, I can't stay to chat. I'm off to House MD to save the day.
Perfect.
And why is this? This is because water. River is made of water, and water is incredibly adaptable. You put water into one container of one shape, you pour that same water from that container into a different shaped container, it's a completely different shape now. Wow. Water can be a source of life. Water can take life. Like a stream of water running can look a little bit like this. It can be serene and peaceful. A watering hole for the local fauna who are gathering together to chat about yesterday's antics. Oh, Marjorie, can you believe what Agnes did last night? I can't believe it at the disco. Oh, you know. But rivers can also look like this. Damaging, destructive, powerful. So the nature of River is very malleable and changeable and adaptable. And I think that's why he has this sort of special interest. He is a control specialist, but he has interests in offense, support, and utility as well. If you like the sound of that, look no further. This is your guy. But remember, only those. He doesn't care about fear. He doesn't care about defense. Let's spin the panel open now. But before we do, let's listen to the sound effect. Oh yes, that's awesome. Right, spin it around. Okay, on most of Spirit Island, the rivers run high during the rainy season, as one would expect. There is one exception: the lingering remains of an ancient curse keep a high ridge shrouded in ice, and when the sun beats down, it feeds a single river with abundant meltwater. River surges in sunlight is a spirit of rushing water, inundation, and bounty out of season. It gets along well with the Dahan, who farm along its banks. They reap the benefit of good harvests and tend to the health of the river in its drier times. Both gain. Brilliant. Okay, let's break it down. The first paragraph is just awesome lore. The origin of river, okay? But also, it maybe is talking about other spirits that could be coming. An ancient curse-based spirit, or do we already have that? And one that's shrouded in ice. We don't have an ice-based spirit, so that could be cool. The third paragraph is basically him saying, I like Dahan, okay? And it works well and in tandem with Dahan. The second paragraph is kind of talking about its nature, like we spoke about. Rushing water is the control aspect. Inundation is the supportive aspect. Bounty out of season is the utility aspect, again, utilizing the Dahan. The setup is one presence on your starting board, highest numbered wetlands. Nice and simple. Complexity low, completely agree. It's a control specialist, but it is a low base complexity. Good one to start with for control spirits. Summary of powers, absolutely agree, completely agree. Control specialist, but look, special interest in offense and utility, which is split into utility on the board and also support of other spirits. But look, nothing in fear and defense. Let's spin this round and talk about his growth options. Okay, so if I can bring them up. There we go. Growth option 1. So the theme behind this one, I think, is tranquility. This is his serene bit. He's reclaiming cards. He's gaining a little bit of power card. He's gaining a little bit of energy. And that's it. Just chilling, taking his time. Growth option 2 is, this is his movement. Okay, so adds one presence, one range away, and then adds another presence, proliferating maybe one step further from the one he just added. This is his, I've got a current flowing water, river moving, okay? It's not uncommon to see on a large game of Spirit Island, like a specific spirit's presence just winding itself along the island like a river, and of course that would be river. And then the final growth option, this is when he like uses the rapids and he jumps ahead, leaps ahead, 2 range away, adds a presence and gains power doing that. Presence tracks, pretty simplistic. 1 through to 5 with a blocker at 2 and a blocker at 4, okay, with energy. And then card plays, you got 1 through to 5. Again, a blocker. By blocker, I mean 2 2s, yeah? A 3, and then a reclaim 1, which is really interesting for a low complexity spirit and plays in a lot, okay? Really, really helpful. Now, there is something that comes up in the presence tracks and the growth options we'll talk about. It's a contentious issue. Some people who play say this is a design flaw. I think it's actually a beautiful addition and is his ultimate form that you can unlock. We'll talk about it later and we'll show it in the gameplay. His special rule though, River's Domain. Your presence in wetlands counts as sacred sites. So this is really helpful. Sacred sites are where major powers need to be cast from, but you only need 1 presence in a wetland. You start in a wetland, so you start with the sacred site already. And if you can wind your way across wetlands, you'll have loads of sacred sites for the cost of 1 presence. This is awesome. Not only good for majors and some minors, but also his innate power, massive flooding. It's a slow power, range of 1 away from one of these sacred sites on any targeting land, okay? So no restrictions, and there's no restrictions in the river for lands. The first 2 thresholds are control. Controls by moving 1 explorer or town, or pushing up to 3 explorers or towns. There's also this damage in the second threshold, and notice the insteads. The insteads are, they supersede the previous threshold. So if you trigger the second, the first one doesn't count, okay? If you trigger the third, the first 2 don't count. But now look at the third. The third is not control. This is his special interest in offense, in damage. Instead, do 2 damage to each invader. The translation of this is a land with invaders that are comprised of explorers and towns. You cast this, they all die. And we'll be showing this off in the gameplay. Amazing power. Now onto his power cards. Wash Away, beautiful artwork. Wash Away, 1 energy, slow power with a water and mountain, and it's basically his second threshold at Innate. This is pushing up to 3 explorers or towns on any land. This is, again, without the 2 damage, his second Innate, which is obviously incredible control. But if you ever kind of trigger 2 of these, or even the first or second level of his Innate and Wash Away, you've got 2 amazing control options. Flash Floods is an overcosted at 2 fast damage of 1 in any land, but it's 2 if it's coastal. It's got a sun and a water, really good, but again, bit overcosted. Now onto his amazing other special interests. First one is the support. Boon of Vigor honestly could go into any support spirits arsenal and they would love it. 0 cost, sun, water, plant. Plant is so helpful for some events and also for some mages. You target any spirit. Target yourself, you gain an energy. Good. You target another spirit, they gain 1 energy per power card they played this turn. Think about Shroud of Silent Mist. Think about Sharp Fangs Behind the Leaves. These are spirits and others as well that don't get a lot of energy, but play a lot of card plays, and they have to work around that. All of a sudden, you give them Boon of Vigor, that changes the very nature of what they are. They can flex into mages all of a sudden. They can have no problems with energy for the rest of the game. What a power. What a power. And my favorite, River's Bounty. The picture says it all. River is helping the Han tend to their crops and their fields. Maybe out of camera, I imagine there's some animals, hence why maybe there's an animal element on this card, as well as sun and water. 0 cost, slow, range of 0, so in the land you're in, you gather 2 Dahan, and then, if there are at least 2, you grow another one. And you gain an energy. This is unbelievable. What a card. And again, on any land. So, if you imagine you're playing with like Thunder Speaker or Hearth Vigil or something, spirits that need Dahan, you're growing Dahan. You're giving them the army they're looking for. This is unbelievable. Now, onto the kind of contentious thing that we mentioned before. Those steely-eyed of you will have noticed the 3rd threshold of his Innate, of River's Innate, requires 3 sun, 4 water, and 1 mountain. If you look across his card plays, you've got 3 sun, 4 water, and 1 mountain. So if you can ever play these 4 cards and have 3 energies somehow, you can reclaim loop playing these cards, getting all of the benefits of the control, the support, the utility, the damage, and the massive amount of damage every turn. I think this is like his ultimate form. Others say it's a design flaw, specifically because Boon of Vigor you give off to another spirit, okay? You don't take the energy for yourself, but River's Bounty you trigger, so you gain 1 energy. So there's 1 banked, okay? If you've played these 4. Now, reclaiming gives you 1 energy, and your presence tracks, even if you unlock nothing further, starts with 1 energy. So you have 3 energy, and you need 3 energy to play. So if you ever get to play these 4 cards in one go, you have enough to play them over and over again. Again, I think this is sort of like his ultimate form. Others have said this is a design flaw. You decide, but we're going to be highlighting this in today's gameplay. So you make the decision. I think it's brilliant. Right, on to the gameplay. Okay, board G. This is a board I don't often get. Okay. Board G. Okay, board G, first of all, we have our 2 wetlands next to each other. We've actually explored into our wetlands. Right, this is the game. This is what we're going to do in this game. We are going to be controlling the board with our massive amount of control, and we're going to be highlighting that. We are going to be working towards opening up our ultimate form, like our massive ultimate form of damage, and then we're going to be controlling the board such that we're going to make 2 dump lands. Very likely G2, because it has a city already, and maybe G8, or maybe we'll draw this town in and make it like G5 or something like that. But one of these two lands, G5 or G8, is going to be our dump land, most likely as well as G2, which means we're going to be pushing and ferrying all the invaders into these lands, allowing them to build up, allowing them to blight occasionally if they need to, hoping that they don't over blight and over spread blight on the land. And then ultimately, the idea is we're going to be waiting to build up our ultimate form and destroy those two lands, winning in Terra level 1, maybe Terra level 2, depending upon how many things we destroy and how much fear we've generated. That's the play. So right now we're going to have to control G4 and move these guys out, which means one other control will move something from any other land explored to another land we want, if we can generate that. And we can, because we're going to use our huge amount of control. In so doing that, I want to see if I can pick up any other control options. Now look, already I've picked up a defensive option. So if you wanted to go down the route of defense with River, you can if you just draft it. And this can change and can dictate your playstyle completely. Now with this defense, I could ferry Dahan into the land, defend it, fight back, etc. I'm not going to do that, just to show and indicate you do not need to. Now in this particular one, I haven't actually got anything particularly good, but Reaching Grasp isn't terrible actually, because then it increases my range and it's a water option. I quite like it, so I'm going to take that and I'm going to explore into, not into G2 as I normally would do, because main reason is it will, well actually no, I probably will. No, I will. I was going to say I'll go into G5, but that won't give me a Sacred Side option until the following turn. So G2 gives me an option to actually now interact with G1, G6 as well, as G5, 4, 3, and 7 with Sacred Sites. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to play Wash Away and River's Bounty. And remember, at the moment, River's Bounty is, not doing anything because I'm using it on my board. But had I wanted to expand out, or if there was another island here, I could have expanded there to help with River's Bounty. I could already be helping another spirit. As it is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to protect against cultural assimilation by drawing this Dahan into this land here. Finish gathering, gain my energy, gain a Dahan. Now I'm going to wash away from G4 everything, so that is no longer being a problem in G4. G2, we've accepted, this may be blighting. G8 is the next land that has been explored into. Since I can't access it at this stage, I'm going to allow that to become my new dump land, moving off from G1 into G2. There we go. The game has decided for me which are the two dump lands, so that's what I'm going to go with. Now I'm going to gain another power card. See what I pick up. Nice. So I've got Flesh Rot Fever, which actually could be very helpful. But I've got Flow Down River, Blow Down Wind. I mean, this is such a brilliant card. It can move Blight as well as an Explorer in town. I'm a control specialist. This is going to be really helpful potentially, but can only be cast on jungles and sands, and I've already dictated that my two dump lands are going to be a wetland and mountain. If this was a jungle or sands, I may be tempted to get Flesh Rot Fever even over Flow Down River. But Flow Down River's got control, it's got water, and it's zero cost. It wins. So we're going to now explore into G5, I think. We're taking a chance because we don't know if the next explorer is going to be sands or jungles, but we should be good either way. Now we're going to play Boon of Vigor and Flow Down River. Now we've got, again, two control options. Boon of Vigor now goes off to another spirit, giving them energy and making them happy. In this game, we'll give it to ourselves. Okay, so we're going to add an extra explore. Okay, that blighted. This is going to blight as well. So now we need to add an explorer to a... okay, so let's add that. I'll tell you what, we'll add that to 6. Thinking maybe... I was going to think, actually, yeah, so it kind of worked out. I was thinking maybe the beast could kill this off, and maybe it still will. So now we're going to Flow Down River, and we're going to move this little gentleman from G5. Let's push him into G8, and we're going to push this gentleman from G3 into G2. Again, controlling the board. It's all about control. Now we're going to add presence. We're going to make a sacred site in G5, and we're going to add our presence back into G2. So now we have sacred site accessibility across the land. We would have done anyway with our reaching grass, but now we're going to pull back, wash away, and we're going to play wash away and reaching grasp, I think. Yes. Which now opens up our slots. Now, if we played flash floods, we actually would generate the second level innate. Perhaps that's worth doing, because if they explore into G6, I could do damage instead of just pushing them away, which could disrupt everything there. I could use wash away on a different land. I do have a few options here, but it does mean that this way I can actually just save. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do that just to show you that you can just use the flash floods as a 1 damage hit, stopping this from ever being a problem. Okay, not that it necessarily would. Did I get local diaspora? Oh, thank goodness I didn't. Oh, so they would have done the damage anyway, you see? Okay, so the mountains is now going to ravage, and it's going to double up in sands. Okay, so we're going to wash away, as we're doing all the time. We're going to wash away into the mountains, and we're going to wash away. But see, this now destroyed it because it did damage instead and would have washed it away. So we just stopped both of the sands. So we're now stopping anything from happening for 2 turns, which is great because now we can proliferate again, and we can go into, well, wherever we want, really. So let's go into where the Dahan are. Let's make another sacred site here. In fact, let's spread ourselves into a different land here. There we go. And let's pull back wash away. The reason we're pulling back wash away is I'd like to play at least 1 card that has some sort of control. I will save 1 energy, and the following turn when I reclaim, I will get 1 energy, and I will get 1 energy from my presence tracks, which means now I'm unlocked and I can play all 4 cards for 3 energy. So we are in the winning straight, if you can see what I mean. Okay. All right, that didn't do anything. That's great. Great. Okay, that gave us an extra energy, so brilliant. All right, so now we're going to wash away. We are going to see if the beast is going to help us out in the following event. So we're going to push away from here. There we go. And now we're going to reclaim. We've got 3 energy because we got the 1 energy from the event. We're going to gain a minor power. Ugh, gift of living energy. I mean, this now just opens up options for us to go major. Should we do that? Because actually Call to Ferocity is an incredible power card as well. I think we'll do that. So we'll do Wash Away. We're playing all our starting cards. River's Bounty, Boon, and Boon. Okay? So where's the other one? Flash Floods. And we played Gift of Living Energy to give us more energy. So we are now going to do Gift of Living on ourselves. Again, this could go off to another spirit now if we wanted to. We're going to do Boon of Vigor on ourselves. Again, this could go off to another spirit. And Flash Floods. Now, we're going to make a decision. Where are we going to be doing our damage? We have a few options. I like the idea, since the jungles is building, we can push them into either 2 or 8. I'm going to go with 8. I'm just going to destroy the inland land, because if coastals comes up, I can probably deal with it with my Flash Floods a bit easier. So I'm actually going to do the 1 point of damage on this city here. Okay? Seek new farmland. Oh, I didn't have anywhere but 2 towns. Great, that's working really fantastic. Oh, it doubles up into the mountains again. Oh, isn't that great? So now, as I said, I'm going to wash away from D6. I'm going to go into D8. I'm going to River's Bounty. Yeah, sure. Get an energy there. And now I'm going to do 2 damage to every invader in this land here, D8. Which includes 2 damage on the city, killing it. So that wipes everything in D8 as it was going to be building. So I've solved that very nicely. Now we reclaim again, and off we go again. Now at this point with 6 energy, we could go for a major. Let's see if we pick up anything. Tsunami. I mean, I mean, that just destroys everything on the coast, right? I've also got Wrapped in Wings of Sunlight. I mean, wow. And Voice of Command. Talk about some powerful cards. Let's pick up Tsunami. And I tell you what, let's pick up Tsunami and say, wow, isn't that amazing? And just get rid of it immediately and play our cards. Boon of Vigor, Flash Floods, and Gift of Living Energy. And what we're going to do is we're going to, yet again, we could be giving this off to another spirit. We're going to gain energy. Flash Floods on this city and anything else we want. So let's put it onto this town. Gift of Living Energy to another spirit if we want, or to ourselves. Okay. Populations rise. Add a town to a land with towns or explorers. Great. It's another thing for me to destroy. Get another energy. I mean, this is just... Can you see the level of control we've got here? And it's explored into the wetlands. I mean, are we going to win just with this little guy being destroyed in the fast? I think we are. It all depends on how much fear this now generates, but let's get even more Dahan in here to make this guy feel very unwelcome. And then let's destroy everything in G2 and see if we just win now or if we're going to win in the fast phase. Great. So now we are just going to reclaim. In fact, didn't even need to do that. We could have just reclaimed with our reclaim 1 option. We can gain a major power, and none of these are particularly fun. 2 damn each. No, forget it. Infinite vitality. Let's get rid of it. And actually, all we're going to do is play Flash Floods. And we're going to win in Terror level 1 because Flash Floods is going to destroy this little guy here in G4. And there we go. So, Terror level 1 victory. Did you feel the level of control we had in that game? Like, the invaders couldn't do anything. They could do nothing in that game. And then we were just playing with them. We're like messing with our food, toying with it, moving them here, moving there until we're ready. And then we just pounced and destroyed everything on both of the lands that we'd set up. That's the power of River. And remember all those times you're giving off the cards to the other spirits to help them out. Such a fun and highly, highly supportive spirit. And one that you actually feel you can do damage with. So many control things, it's like more about control and then keeping the game under control, but then you have to draft the power card to defeat them, and this, it's already embedded in the product. Okay, so strengths and weaknesses. Number 1, massive amount of control. Number 2, really uses Dahan. Could you see how much Dahan we had in that? We had too much Dahan. Too many. And then also the amount of damage you can do, like you can see, you just blitz lands. Very, very active with support as well. So in multiplayer games, if you like a spirit which can give support and you feel you're helping your other spirits whilst doing your own thing, River is the guy for you. Weaknesses, doesn't do defense very well. Like, genuinely doesn't do defense very well. You need to draft the defense in order to actually, do anything, because you don't get any at the beginning, even though you have all those Dahan at your disposal. Doesn't deal with cities very well as well, so you have to keep the city counts down. So it can be quite challenging against some adversaries, and that's the next thing. With adversary scaling, it doesn't scale as well, but that can be said for other spirits, but just a note there. And then the other clear thing is he doesn't generate any fear on his own. It's all about fear from the things he kills. And then the final thing is this 4 card play loop, like reclaiming loop thing. Is that a strength or weakness? I personally think it's a strength, but you choose. Anyway, I hope that this video has been helpful. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope it makes you want to go out and try River for yourself, because he's really, really good fun and so much more supportive than you think as a control specialist. And he's got so much more in his kit, as you can see. All that's left for me to say is I hope you join me for the next video, and keep spiriting, guys. Keep saving the island and save those Dahan just like River would want you to. Good luck, and God bless.